Today, I will tell you how to add 200 points to your Express Entry profile. A lot of applicants have utilized this method. There are two benefits. First of all, you get a lot of points, which means almost an instant invitation to apply for immigration, and also someone else pays for these points, so you don't have to bear the cost of it. We'll get into the details of this program in this video. Hi, my name is Rashid Ali. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant based in Canada. And if this is the first time you're watching this video, this is my YouTube channel where I share my experiences and my advice on Canadian immigration programs. Specifically in this series, you will see a business immigration programs, more than 26 business immigration programs for Canada. This video is part 2 of the business immigration series. If you want to see the other videos, I will put the link of the whole playlist in the description and also will link it at the end of this video. So subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications so you can stay tuned and watch those videos. So let's begin. There are a couple of ways to increase your Express Entry CRS points. In fact, more than a couple, but two programs in particular that can give you 200 points. Now, assuming that you have never heard of the intra-company transfer before, I will start from the basics. There are a couple of ways in which you can add up to 200 points in your Express Entry profile. I will start with the basics and then move on to more advanced concepts at the end of this video. So even if you're learning about this concept of adding 200 points for the first time, you can understand the whole concept. So the program I'm focusing on in this video is called the Intra-company Transfer Work Permit. Let's look at the 5 W's and 1 H of this program. By 5 W's, I mean what, who, when, where, why, and how. Let's start with the what. I call this a business immigration program because for this program, your employer outside of Canada needs to transfer you to Canada. So multinational companies are ideal for this program because that is the basic requirement for this program. For a company operating outside of Canada to start its operation in Canada or to transfer one of its employees to its existing operations in Canada. Now, if you don't work for a multinational company, don't worry, I'll get into more details soon. The main benefit of this program is that even though it's a work permit, you don't need to get an LMIA to apply for this work permit. LMIA stands for the Labor Market Impact Assessment. LMIA is one of the reasons why it's so difficult for Canadian employers to give job offers to people outside of Canada, because they have to prove to Service Canada, which is essentially like a labor department in Canada, that this job that they're giving to a person outside of Canada won't have a negative impact on the Canadian job market. What this essentially means is you're not taking a job away from a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. That's why proving this would be hard for most jobs. But in this particular program, there is no need for an LMIA. You can directly apply for the work permit. This work permit is initially given for a period of 1 year, but can be extended up to 5 to 7 years, depending upon the role. And the good part is that not only the applicant gets this work permit, but the applicant's spouse or common law partner as well as the dependent children can also come to Canada on an open work permit or a study permit. So if your children are currently in school, they can study up until high school for free, just like any other Canadian citizen or permanent resident. And your spouse or common law partner can work for any employer in Canada. It's an open work permit for them. Now let's get to the who. In order to qualify for this program, your employer should be a foreign company who's willing to transfer you to Canada. Now, even if you're not working for a multinational company which has a branch in Canada, the good news is they can always open a new branch and transfer you to Canada. So a company doesn't need to exist for a long time. Your employer in the other country can actually set up a company and actually send you to set up this company in Canada. Also, if you're an entrepreneur or if you're a business owner, you can transfer yourself to Canada by offering yourself a job to start a company. So it's not only good for employees, but it's also good for employers and entrepreneurs. One important condition that you need to meet to be eligible for this program is that you need to be working for that foreign employer for at least a year. So if you just joined a company, say somewhere in Japan or India, and you haven't completed 1 year with that company, you won't be eligible for this transfer, for this program. You need to be working for at least 1 year. Not everyone can be transferred through this program. There are people in 3 types of roles that can be transferred. First of all, the executives, which are senior manager of the company, close to top management. They don't have to be top management. You can have a layer of management above you, but generally you're looking after the management of the whole company or at least one particular division or branch of the company. The second category is for senior managers. Now, as the name suggests, you're managing other managers or other people in a supervisory role and you have significant responsibility. If you're in that role, you can also be transferred through the ICT or intra-company transfer. The third type of employees that can be transferred are people with a specialized knowledge. Now, this has two parts. First of all, you have some proprietary knowledge about your company's product or service. Secondly, you're a subject matter expert. You have a specialized knowledge that you've developed by spending some time in that company. So for this third category, even though if you've spent 1 year in the company, you can be eligible, it's more ideal if you've spent a few more years in the company because it takes some time to acquire that specialized knowledge. And also your contribution to the company should be significant. So not only do you have a specialized knowledge, but you can make a significant contribution to the company. That's why they're transferring you to their affiliate or branch in Canada. Now let's get to the when, the third W. You can claim 200 points after your employer transfers you to Canada. You've been working here for a year and they give you a job offer which is valid for 1 year from the time you get your PR. So let's look at it in practice. Suppose you're working for Unilever UK and they decide to transfer you to Canada. First of all, you've been working with Unilever for at least 1 year in UK. Now they're transferring you to Canada. You come to Canada, you start working here, you complete 1 year, and then you lodge your Express Entry profile. Within your Express Entry profile, you will also choose the option of a job offer. You will say that I do have a job offer for a full-time job which is valid for at least 1 year from the time that I will get my PR. And the job offer should not only have the name of the employer, of course, but it should have your list of duties that you'll be performing, because IRCC will use those duties to determine what's your national occupation code, what's your NOC code for that particular role. Once you do that, you will get 50 or 200 points and you can then use those points to apply for immigration, because with those points you should get an invitation to apply pretty quickly. And once you get your PR, you are free to actually leave that employer, although you shouldn't ethically, but up until that point of getting PR, you need to be working with that employer for at least a year. Now, an important thing to remember is that you will be eligible to claim these points only after you've spent 1 year and only when you have this job offer of a full-time position for at least 1 year after you get your PR. So between the time you will actually utilize this full-time job offer and the time you create your Express Entry profile, there could be a gap of 6 to 7 months, because that's how long an Express Entry application can take. So overall, the process can at least take up to a year and 6 months. Now let's get to the fourth W, the where. You have to work for that employer in Canada for at least a year. So even if you're working in one of the neighboring countries, suppose US, you cannot claim points. If you're serving Canadian clients from your company offshore, suppose you're still in the UK but you're servicing clients in Canada, you need to have a work permit of your job in Canada and you need to be working for a year before you can actually claim these points. Now let's get to the fifth W, the why. Why should you even consider this program? Well, first of all, you will boost your score. You will get 50 or 200 points for your Express Entry profile, which is really good. Secondly, you don't have to spend this money yourself. Your employer will be transferring you. They will be bearing all the costs. You just have to come here on a work permit and then bear the expenses of applying for regular immigration program, the Express Entry program. So no cost for you. Whereas if you were to consider another business program, for example, entrepreneur immigration, you would have had to show that you have a significant net worth. You can invest a significant amount of money, but you don't have to do that because you're an employee of a company. There is another program which can give you 200 points much earlier, which is the owner operator LMIA, topic for another video. But intra-company transfer is better for those people who would like to test the waters a bit, want to spend some time in Canada on a work permit before they make this critical decision of permanently moving to Canada. Also, if you're not a senior manager but you're someone with specialized knowledge, you can still benefit from this program. Whereas for some of the other business immigration programs, you either need to be a senior manager or you need to be a business owner. So these are some of the advantages of the intra-company transfer. Now let's get to the H, the how. So I've been talking about 50 and 200 points throughout this video and you might be confused. Obviously, everyone would like to get 200 points. So what determines whether you get 50 points or 200 points? The answer is it depends on your role. If you're going to do a job for a senior manager, which is NOC 00, National Occupation Classification Code 00, you will get 200 points. But if your job in Canada will be that for NOC 0A or B, that is managerial job, a job for a professional or skilled trade, you will only get 50 points. So it has to be a senior managerial role in order for you to get 200 points. And the way IRCC, the Immigration Department, will determine if you get 50 or 200 points is by looking at your job duties based on the offer of employment that you will get. And they might also look at your past experience, the 1 year that you spent in Canada. The way IRCC or the immigration department will determine whether you are a senior manager or not, or just a regular manager, is by looking at your list of duties and looking at the overall structure of the organization. Where do you fall in the hierarchy of the organization? Is it just an organization with 2 employees, you're the manager and there's 1 person reporting to you, or is it a multi-layered organization? Some of these factors will be very important in determining whether your knock is 0 or 0, whether you get 50 points or 200 points. Now you might be thinking, that's great, but I don't work for a multinational company, or even if I work for a multinational company, my company doesn't have any branch or affiliate or subsidiary or a parent company in Canada. So how can I benefit from this program? Again, the good news is if they don't have a company in Canada, they don't have a branch in Canada, they can always open a branch and move you here to start the operations of that branch. And if you're not an employee of a multinational organization, rather you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, you can always open another company in Canada and transfer yourself to start this business here. But in this video, I focused on the employee's perspective. What requirements the employee needs to fulfill to benefit from this program. I'll make another video soon on what steps the employer needs to take to benefit from this program. All the eligibility requirements, their list of documents, how to make a strong application. So to watch that video and other videos on business immigration, subscribe to the channel. That really helps me make more videos, that encourages me. And if you got value from this video, hit the like button and turn on the notification. So whenever I upload a new video, you will get a notification and you can watch it in time. Now, after watching this video, if you think you could be potentially eligible for this program, get in touch. I will share a link in the description for a free assessment. You can fill that out, and if you are a suitable candidate, I will get in touch with you to guide you further. Also, if you're an employer looking to transfer an employee, again, you can use the same assessment link or just simply send me an email. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Look at the playlist for other videos in the series that have already been made and subscribe for future videos. Take care and have a great day.